We have a discussion about the New York Football Giants, specifically the signal caller for the New York Football Giants, Steve. That is one Russell Wilson. We talked about him a lot toward the back end of last season when he was finishing up with the Steelers. And
took him to the playoffs.
I was at that game in Baltimore. I think you were too. And they didn't play very well. And they were eliminated in the first round of the postseason, like has happened in Pittsburgh repeatedly. They end up changing quarterbacks. They have Aaron Rodgers, and Russell Wilson signs a 1-year, $10 million contract. That is meaningful, and I'll get into it why later. But they end up offensively just having a performance, Steve, that created an argument between Malik Nabers and Brian Daboll on the sideline.
It wasn't an argument.
As inept as it was.
It was not an argument.
It was a discussion? It
wasn't a discussion. It was two dogs barking at each other. That's exactly what it was.
Well, it's two dogs that are a big part of an offense, Steve, that want it to be successful. And Russell Wilson goes 17 of 37 for 168, not a touchdown. So let's get into that two dogs barking to start this off, because we're 1 week into this. It was established throughout the entire course of the offseason that Russell Wilson is the starter. Jaxson Dart, we'll get into him. We'll get into the type of preseason and training camp he had, and maybe when a switch could happen, because Russell Wilson has been named the starter for week 2 against Dallas. What do you think when you're a player, and we know, we've talked on this show, he is on the way to becoming a big dog in Malik Nabers, right?
Yeah.
When you saw that, what went through your mind? Because you've probably had similar feelings on a sideline.
I was like, I hadn't been there before. I know exactly what that's about. That is about, this is who I'm playing with? You got this guy? See,
that's what he's saying?
Didn't we talk about this, Coach?
Right.
This was a concern of mine. And as wide receivers, it is a very lonely place because all you do is dig in your nose and chase butterflies out wide. And so you just start thinking. You start thinking about things that you shouldn't. And here's what I mean. Man, what am I having for dinner tonight? You know? Hey, when does that new movie come out? Primarily on run plays.
I hope so.
Yeah. I had a great understanding with the defender or the DB that was lined up in front of me. Look, if it's a toss right, we don't have to move. Don't move.
No.
Because if you want to move, then that means I move. And that also means I move closer to you. So if you want to go ahead and try to okie doke me and go take off running, see, that cost you. Now I'm locked in on all the plays. No more lollygagging or daydreaming. No more shilly-shallying on the run plays. It's
shilly-shallying.
Yes, it's go ahead and make you get embarrassed tomorrow on the film because I am ragdolling you. So you can stand here or I can go chase you and block you, but you don't want that.
No, you don't want that.
Man, y'all already knew this was good. Y'all already saw it. I already had a few times in practice that I really didn't like. And now you're going to go ahead. You don't see this? We need a change. But I do have a conspiracy theory on that. You ready?
Oh.
I know why. I haven't spoke to anybody, but I know why Jaxson Dart didn't play. First of all, his dad played at University of Utah. But anyway.
And you said you haven't talked to anybody?
I haven't talked to anybody.
There's a Ute connection, just saying. 2 Utes.
Yeah, I haven't talked to anybody. But
Joe Pesci, go ahead.
2 Utes.
2 Utes. That just popped in my head.
Hey, that was dope. I was thinking about his girlfriend who was able to break down the car thing.
Oh, Marissa Tomei?
Oh, yeah. Man, that was bananas. Anyways, if the New York Giants would have allowed Jaxson Dart to be on the field for those few packages that they had, if Jaxson Dart would have had a sliver of throwing the ball beyond the 10 yards that Russell Wilson was able to do prior to him finally throwing a deep pass to Malik Nabers, man, fans would be in the comments, fans would be on Twitter. Put him in, get dust out of the offense, we're not going to be able to win with him.
Just call him Dust?
Yeah, Russ is Dust.
Bro,
you
just changed the nickname on me. I had to figure it out myself. Okay, go ahead.
Dusty. I was watching that. I was watching that game. This is why I don't miss football. I was watching that game. I was like, man, that's tough. Click. I just changed the channel. I went to a different game. Man, I watched that game when I had nothing else to do.
Watching Malik Nabers get his steps in.
Oh, my gosh. It's a shame.
To go along with what you said, Steve, something that Malik Nabers said post-game about that interaction stuck in my head. When he said, he was saying, I was trying to get the guys going, trying to get everybody going. I'm a competitor. Daboll's a competitor. I do think that part's true. I think
that's facts.
That's totally true. Yeah. But when in the middle of it, he says, the energy wasn't right. So I took it upon myself to try to boost people up. When he says the energy wasn't right, what did we hear all of training camp and all of preseason when Jaxson Dart took the field with this offense? Energy went up. Mm-hmm. Offense had more juice. Oh. To me, I feel like that's him going like, wait a minute, I played during the I played some time here with a guy that brought a lot of juice and energy to this offense. Yeah. They would go up tempo. They would move. They'd run that RPO game. They'd be quicker. They'd move.
Let's take it back. I don't even think it's the juice. When you're offensive play caller / head coach, offensive mind Brian Daboll is telling me, hey, let's go make a play. Naturally, with what? With this guy? We ain't ready to play yet, bro. When we gonna make a play? I can tell you when we gonna make this play. When you get this out of here, that's when we gonna make a play.
Yeah. And Steve, let's rewind real quick to the end of last year when we were talking about this. And what did you say and I said from talking to people around the league about the Steelers' offense by the end of the season? It was what? Predictable. Very much so. Predictable. There was the deep look and then the dump off or the short scramble. That's what defensive coaches were saying was becoming kind of the...
Well, here's what really has happened with Russ. Coming out of Wisconsin, he was formerly at NC State. Mm-hmm. Draft, third round, fourth round draft pick.
Third
round draft pick that took over for Matt Flynn, who played well behind Aaron Rodgers, got there, and all of a sudden...
He just won the job.
He won the job. But he won the job because at that apparent moment, athleticism and the juice that he possessed and the off-schedule plays. But that also became a habit for Russell Wilson where he depended on his athleticism and never really honed in his craft. You got to remember, Russ has won multiple Super Bowls. But one of the Super Bowls, his first Super Bowl, my man didn't even throw over 25 attempts in the football game. And that's not a knock on him. That is the coach understanding what my quarterback is not.
Yeah.
And so now you go in the Super Bowl and you want to prove to people that my quarterback is a legitimate quarterback that you need to threaten. And all of a sudden, Malcolm Butler becomes a Super Bowl hero. And beast mode is ticked off. And now is the downfall of that team, not because of the throw. It was because you were trying to make a point about what other people already knew. They knew that Russ is part of the Seattle Seahawks, not the Seattle Seahawks.
Great point.
And that happened in Denver. He is no longer having that persona in when he was with Pittsburgh, and definitely doesn't have it in New York. But what Russ is missing is now that his athleticism has let him go, he is now a mere mortal. He is not anything special.
Man, there used to be some wild plays.
It's
scrambling.
W is the what the hell is going on out there? Not wow. It's more like, wow, he's still playing? Oh. Wow. Right? Talking to some people in Pittsburgh in training camp. Man, just didn't have the juice to throw certain routes. Didn't have the ability to see certain routes. let me go back. Very rarely do you see Russell Wilson consistently, accurately throwing the football between a 10 and 19 yards. That's mid, over the middle.
Oh, he don't want to go there, Steve.
Dropping back, growing through his progression, making a right read, and throwing the ball on time.
I get it. But let's look at the situation, right? I believe we saw Coach Daboll, General Manager Joe Shane, when we were at, what, Steve? Not the Pro Day in Boulder, the Showcase. When we were at the Showcase in Boulder. And they were looking at all the quarterbacks. From my understanding is they put more work into this quarterback class than maybe any other team in football trying to evaluate this entire group of guys. You don't know if you're going to get one in the draft. And you don't know if one's going to be available to you when you want them, or if any of them you like. So what'd you have to do before the draft? A month before the draft. You need to protect yourself and have at least a quarterback. They went after Stafford, didn't get him. They went after Aaron Rodgers, didn't get him. Then they settled on Russell Wilson on a 1-year, $10 million contract. True. You needed him. And so your plan might have been, we have Russ. Okay, we found the quarterback in the draft we want in Jaxson Dart. We've liked him. We traded up for him. He's developed really, really well. We love the way he's grown. We've been throwing things at him left and right, Steve. I think the most interesting thing that nobody's talking about is Daboll in training camp was turning the headset off on Jaxson Dart. He's throwing him in for one play during a preseason game and then taking him back out. He's doing all these things. Why do you think he's doing those things? I want to see if he's ready. Yeah. Like, these are all tests to see if I can get him out there, because your headset's going to go out in a game, right? I want to do all these things.
If it's a division rival, you guarantee that thing going out.
Pulling a plug. But so you can have a plan. It doesn't mean the plans stay the same. Correct. You had 2 plans before you even got Russ. Yep. And so I think the plan was to try to sit him as long as possible. You hope this defense can play well. You hope Russ can play decent and long enough through some of this early portion of the schedule that's tough, and they have one of the toughest schedules, if not the toughest schedule in football.
Correct.
But, Steve, I think the hard part, and I know Brian Daboll's thinking about this because he's going back and forth. I got to keep my job, but I know this kid's going to be playing behind an offensive line that is not good. I think his appearance on the field will correlate with the return of Andrew Thomas at left tackle. As long as if Andrew Thomas comes back and can play that left tackle spot, I think he'll be like, okay, let's bring the kid in. I think there's a thought there of making sure we don't put him behind this line.
So let me get this right.
I know what you're going to say.
You're telling me we're not going to get a temporary fix to help our quarterback be more comfortable. Is that because you don't believe that Andrew Thomas coming back will change
Russ?
The production of Russ? Or is it, I don't want to get my young future hurt because he actually can play, and we ain't throwing him out there without our guy because it will have a very impactful thing for or against him playing in the future.
Mm-hmm. His psyche, right? The last thing he wants is guys to get.
We've talked to a number of people. I have, and I'm still pretty inquisitive about hearing when people feel like a quarterback is now looking at the rush and not looking at the coverage. Dunzo, stick a fork in him.
Yep, I think that's big. I think that's real big, and I think Brian Daboll's aware of that. But I do think you can't argue Jaxson Dart's the more mobile out of the two right now, the more athletic out of the two.
Mobile, man, mobile. How about just get the ball out?
He's quick. His decision making's been quick. They've gone up tempo.
You over here want to talk about the dessert? Can we get an appetizer that's on point? Huh?
But I do think you got to find a way to do this because you see you have a weapon that you can't get the ball to in Malik Nabers.
Frustration is just going to grow.
Yeah. I mean, it's whoo-wee. We'll see when it happens, Steve. I think it'll be before Halloween. I think that's when it'll be. I think he's going to get out there. Yeah.
Well, if Thomas, so you saying Thomas going to be back before Halloween?
Yeah, he practiced the Friday before week 1. So he had a screw. You know what screws in the foot are like. He had a
Not
screw
in the foot,
taken
in the
out.
ankle,
He
but
had it in the ankle.
yeah.
He had it taken out, and so
You gotta let it heal because it's still
yeah. So I think it's going to be soonish that he'll be back on the field. So
ish.
I don't want to. Can't say ish. But listen, Dabo loves this kid. I'll be honest. I mean, and I'll close with this. I got a text from a GM after his third preseason game, Steve, that was, Jaxson Dart is going to be a problem in the NFC East for a long time. Quote me. Now, I'll quote him as anonymous GM, but there are some people that think he can play. So we'll see when that actually happens. And this might be it for Russ. We'll see. Big Blue.
Does Russ have the knowledge to be a backup that can help young guys like Geno Smith? I heard Geno Smith, Mark Sanchez. There's a few backups that were backups for a long time who were an extension of the coaching staff, and they needed that type of player to be in the ear of the quarterback because he was a reliable source. He also did it, and the quarterback would hear it coming from that guy sometimes more than the coach, because sometimes you get caught in the coach talk.
Oh, big
right?
time.
And
you
then
need a guy that's been out there.
That's been out there, who's been on an island and been hopeless, who's been, hopeless or been in a situation where, man, you just got to keep throwing your way out of this crap.
Yep. There is a guy in the league right now, Steve, that is that job for hire right now, and his name's Case Keenum. He just did it in Houston. They just took him to Chicago. He doesn't even think he's playing. He's then the third string at all these places. They just want him in the room. They just want Case Keenum in the room because of everything you're saying. Because of everything you're saying. They just want him there. That's why it's one of the biggest things in the NFL that goes on. It goes, everybody says, why does this guy still have a job? Why was Chase Daniel in the league for 14 years with 5 starts? Because they know how to help the starter. And I think in New York, there's a reason why they kept Jameis. And he's the third string. I think they want Jameis to be the backup in 2026 behind Jaxson Dart.
So that brings me like a Dan Orlowski. Like, I know Dan can't, Dan, not throwing shade at him, Dan wasn't known to be a Pro Bowl quarterback. But
no, he was not.
Whether you like him or not, Dan understands how the game is played from the quarterback position. Not every quarterback knows what their job is. Some quarterbacks know what their job is, and they can't teach a wall how to do it. And then there's some people who have all the ability but can't teach. So 100%. when you have a guy who is not threatening to ever want to, they all want to play, but threatening to ever do anything good when he gets in the game on a consistent basis. But he has the ability to help our guy get through a rough patch, and he's the calming voice. Man, that's like
Chad Henne was that to Patrick Mahomes after he became the starter. Big time. Big time. It was in the room. I used to talk to Chad going, he would go, I'm sitting there next to him, and I'm watching Pat go through it mentally, and I can see it working. And as each week goes and as each year went, it was like he's picking it up faster. Is he seeing it yet? I'm not going to tell him. If he asks for my help, I'll tell him because I see it. Okay, he's seen it faster. He's seen it faster. And that's like that. That's like your sidecar coach with you.
Yeah, but
that's that guy.
So in a quarterback room, you need that in every position.
We just
you need that in every position because your superstar is going to experience something that he's never ever experienced, and he needs a confidant to be able to be transparent and say, "Hey, bro, I have no idea what it's like to be where I am right now." And I had a few of those internal conversations with myself. I don't know what it's like to be a 34-year-old number one wide receiver. Yeah. I don't know what it's like to be a 34-year-old thought I was a number one wide receiver. I don't know what it's like to be 30 years old because I've only experienced 29 and backwards.
Yep.
And I don't, like, when I lost Moose, it was a gift and a curse. That's why they brought in Keyshawn. That's why they kept Ricky. because they needed an elder statesman to either give me something to learn from by his words or his actions, and understanding nobody's perfect. So we're not talking about perfect people. We're talking about that I can see something that I go, that's noteworthy taken right there. But, and when you don't have that, man, sometimes that's why, look, just a little small part. The Carolina Panthers deciding to move on from Adam Thielen is extremely problematic because if you watch the football game, the young guys that they have, can they play? Yes, that's why they were drafted. But just because you can play doesn't mean your first 5, 4, 6, 10 games, you're going to have it all figured out.
No. It's the norm. You're not going to have it figured out.
You shouldn't.
Yeah.
Patrick, there's so many players that were in the league that you say, well, he had an outstanding rookie season. And if you talk to him, he'll also tell you half of the stuff he was doing, he had no idea what he was doing. Yeah. He was just going, say, go, sack, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, 100%. But you know what you're talking about, Steve? It's called roster building.
Yes.
It's how you build the right roster. And I'll leave you with this. Why do you think John Elway had such a hard time drafting a quarterback and finding a quarterback?
Because it's difficult.
It's hard. And he used to look at it, to my understanding, and go, how can this guy not do it? It's so easy. Just did it. It's so easy for you. You're one of the greatest of all time. Yeah. He would go, why can't this guy do it? I don't get it. I don't get it. That the guys who have struggled are oftentimes really good to have in the room and really good to coach you because they know how you have to get there because it wasn't easy. They had to figure it out. Elway just could do it. It was incredible. But
you can't be perfect and know exactly
No.
what a guy does, because here's the other thing that people don't acknowledge. Just because you play a sport doesn't mean you love the sport.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you love what it gives you. Sometimes you enjoy what the perks of it is and not actually enjoying what you get to do.
Okay.
And so in today's society, so much is about flash and so much is about FOMO that you're not always getting the true story of what it's like to struggle. You're getting the best edited version of this podcast. You're getting the best edited version of what I did last week. You're not getting I took a step off the curve in my white shoes and it was raining and it's a puddle of who knows what it is.
Oh.
So it's just, there's a lot of things going on. And so my rant on my soapbox is, folks, and just because you're watching it from the couch or watching in the stands doesn't mean that you know how hard the journey is. You don't.
Man, we got Couch Steve with us all year long, baby.
Man,
I'm
in my bag right now, right?
Yeah, we got Couch Steve all year long.
Setup. I got a 75-inch screen over there. I got my planters over here. My designer was mad because I said, I don't want no real plants. I want the responsibility of watering them. Yeah, give me. He was like, I said, nobody's coming in here that's going to say, how dare you get a fake plant?
What is that, fake, Steve? Ugh.
Yeah, and I'm going to say, yup.
Yeah, and let me just check. It's still green.
Look, if you want me to get a new plant, buy me a new one.
Well, facts.
I love it, though. This is nice. Got my couch. Maybe a few times you come in here in Charlotte.
Yeah.
And we'll do it from
we've kicked it in Charlotte before. We got to do it again.
Yeah, we'll do it from the basement. You remember Yo MTV Raps? This is 89 from the basement.
Oh, man, we'll have to do an MTV Cribs of the room.
Yeah, my checking and savings, though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I splurged all my money on the basement. Like, I don't even have a bed. I'm on a blow-up.
No, I just said we'll just do the studio room.
Hey, man, I got to play up till I'm poor.
Yeah, that's true.
You know,
you can't
all
share
these free
inflatable
T-shirts.
with nobody.
You know how I like to play. I love to play poor. You look, if you see me out around town, you're going to be like, where did all this money go? On vacations, that's where it goes.
That's right.